Mr. Albanese, thanks very much for your time. Let's start with the departure of Joel Fitzgibbon. It sounds like there is a very strong candidate lined up, as Andrew Clennell just reported, Daniel Repiccioli, a former Olympic shooter.
Well, he certainly would be a very strong candidate. He's someone who has represented his nation in both the Olympic and Commonwealth Games. He's in the Cessnock Hall of Fame. He's a local who works in the mining industry, and he's one of the candidates who'll be given due consideration. But I'm very confident we will have a strong candidate to replace Joel in Hunter. Joel and I have known each other for a long period of time since Young Labor days. We've had a few differences over the years, but we've had many more beers than we've had differences together. And I certainly wish Joel all the best for his future. He's been a champion of his local electorate, and I'm sure that we will find another champion to advocate for the Hunter in the National Parliament.
Is Fitzgibbon quitting, though, a show of no confidence that you can win the election?
Not at all. The opposite, in fact. It shows a confidence from him, who wants a Labor government, that we will get there. Joel has many achievements, one of which I worked very closely with him on the Hunter Expressway. It was talked about by the Howard government for 12 years. Nothing was done. And we invested over around about $1.5 billion for a project that's worth $1.7. It has made an enormous difference to productivity in the Hunter and also
he says
road
one of
safety.
his achievements. He says one of his achievements is moving the party back to the centre. Have you done that? Have you deliberately done that?
I've done what is on record for doing. I have a pretty comprehensive plan that's consistent with the views I've had my whole political life, of engaging in an alternative plan for a stronger economy, for jobs, for looking after the interests of working people, but also for dealing with equity, for dealing with good social policy through areas like our childcare plan, but also with a plan to deal with climate change, which will be good for jobs as well as being good for the economy and the environment. So
is it moving back to the middle?
I'm not a commentator, Kieran. I'm an advocate, and I'll leave those analysis for commentators. What I've done is put forward a Labor plan in the best Labor traditions. I've been arguing for a stronger Australia coming back out of COVID, imagining a better Australia and then setting about creating it. I'm advocating for a future made in Australia, which is consistent with what I did when I was a minister. I think there's huge opportunities. We're in the fastest growing region of the world in human history. We should be a renewable energy superpower. We should make more things here. We should be dealing with secure work, making sure that people aren't left behind and that people aren't held back. Joel Fitzgibbon's made an enormous contribution to the Labor Party, and I wish him well.
He's also been an enormous annoyance, hasn't he, at times? I know you've said you've had lots of beers with him, and you are friends, but he's been not that easy to work with when he agitates against a bulk of the party at times. So is it a bit of a relief as well?
Look, from time to time, Joel's been one out on issues. He advocates on the record what his views are. It's on the record also that I have some differences with those views, and that's fine. We're a democratic party. We're not a homogenous party. We're a party that encompasses a broad spectrum of views, and that's fine. Joel and I have remained mates during all of it. I know that is confusing for some on the outside, but you, Kieran, know that that's true. And you also know that Joel is very passionate and committed to his electorate, but he also understands that that electorate needs a Labor government to actually advocate for the interests of working people,
Okay.
for the interests of our regions, and for a country that actually has a stronger future, not one that is just treading water from crisis to crisis, as this government has done.